you very much for this warm welcome and organizing this very important meeting, very important interaction with you. First of all, I want to congratulate you for your consistent support in favor of the struggle of Nepalese peoples. This historical struggle of first decades of 21st century, because our class has seen so many positive and negative lessons from 20th century, great revolution and counter-revolution we have seen in that century, and we are trying to draw lesson from all the positive and negative experience of the whole century, and we are trying to synthesize all the ideological struggle that is going on all over the world. Here in our case, when we initiate the war against the feudal autocracy, against any kinds of oppression from external imperialist and reactionary forces, at that time we try to apply the universal theory of Marxism, Leninism and Maoism in the concrete practice of the Nepalese class struggle. At that time we said that until and unless we will be able to develop our ideology according to the dynamics of change, it is not possible to accomplish the revolution. To social revolution is not possible, as we understand that from the Paris Commune and the Great October Social Revolution of Russia and the Chinese Revolution, and all the revolution has its own characteristic. All revolution has developed the ideology, and until and unless they will develop the ideology, it is not possible to have a revolution in any country. And ideology can develop only it will be applied in a very scientific manner. If we will not apply it, if we will not uphold it, it is not possible to develop the ideology. In our case, although we initiated the People's War in a very concrete situation of Nepal, although there was not a favorable situation all over the world, because counter-revolution was prevailing all over the world, and at that very serious situation, we initiated the war. People had so many suspicion about our revolution. Either or not we will be able to lead the People's War to a successful conclusion or not. There were different kinds of questions, and because we tried to apply our ideology in a concrete practice of Nepalese revolution, and just before the initiation of the war, we were in the parliament, and we are the Maoist, and even though we are Maoist, people have so many questions. Why Maoists took part in the parliament? We have a unite with those forces who want to unite with us and who support the Marxism, Leninism, Maoism, and who uphold the GPCR, the Great Proletarian Cultural Revolution, the theory and practice, and the dictatorship under the proletarian dictatorship under the leadership, and all these things, at that time when we unite with different political party and we took part in the parliament in a view that to create a more and more conducive atmosphere, favorable atmosphere to initiate the war. We are quite clear in our strategy, and always we uphold that we should understand that we should be firm in our strategy and very flexible in our tactics. And if we will not show the flexibility in our policy, in our tactical line, we cannot go ahead. And if we will not form in our strategy, even then we cannot go ahead. Therefore, always we uphold the strategy of the firmness and flexibility in tactics. And in this way, we prepare a ground to initiate the People's War in our concrete condition. And our principal contradiction was against feudalism. As you know that we struggle against the feudal property relation, we struggle against the feudal political structure, and we also struggle against feudal cultural relation. And because in the era of the proletarian revolution, this imperialism and proletarian revolution, the feudalism is always tied with imperialist forces. Because in this era, feudal elements cannot exist independently. Always that is supported and nurtured by the big imperialist forces. And to fight against feudalism means to fight against imperialism and to have a unified and coordination with the movement all over the world, all the national democratic, new democratic and socialist movement. Until and unless we will unite with all the forces, it is not possible to lead the struggle against feudalism, or if you want to go against imperialism, you should have also unite with all the forces who are fighting for new democracy and who are struggling against the feudalism. In this basic orientation, we prepared for war, and after intense preparation, we initiated the war. And through this strategic formation, tactical flexibility, we went ahead, and within a very short span of time, within only 5 years of struggle, we created so many new things in the rural area of our poor country. We created a base area. We created our own state and so many activities. We tried to organize new economic activities in the rural area. This is something miracle in the first decades of the 21st century. But we tried to go ahead with the masses. We tried to win over all the marginalized peoples in the country, all the oppressed caste and oppressed nationalities, women, because we focus our attention with this most oppressed community of the masses of peoples. And women's participation in our revolutionary movement was very enthusiastic. Right now in our Constituent Assembly, there is more than 33% women have been represented. There are so many Dalits, most oppressed and marginalized peoples have been represented because of our revolutionary struggle. There is so many revolutionary change. During that period, just after the initiation of the war, 5 years after the war, we have a very serious debate and discussion in our ideology on the questions of Marxism. What should we do? How can we synthesize the overall lesson of the history, lesson of the 20th century? And we have an intense debate and discussion inside our ranks. And through 1.5 years of debate inside our party, we organized a national conference of the party, and through that national conference, we unanimously came to a new conclusion that in the changed situation, we should have to understand the dynamics of change of 21st century. And in this century, we should have prepared ourselves to compete, even in election, to compete with the bourgeois, with the reactionary peoples, and we should have to win over the heart and mind of the people.